My friends, let me ask you something personal. When you step into your shower every morning, do you ever stop to think, could this simple routine actually be putting your brain at risk? I know that sounds shocking. After all, a morning shower feels like the safest, most comforting way to start the day. But here's the truth. For seniors over 60, the very place you feel safest may be quietly raising your chance of having a stroke. Now, I don't say this to scare you. I say it because I've seen it happen too many times in my years of practice. I've watched strong, independent people walk into the bathroom one way and come out changed forever. And the saddest part? Most of them had no idea they were doing anything wrong. So today, I want you to imagine this. The warm water is running, steam is filling the room, and you step in first thing after waking up. You've done it this way for decades, right? But for seniors, that habit, yes, just taking a hot shower right after getting out of bed, can quietly strain your heart and starve your brain of oxygen. Let me explain why in simple words. When you first wake up, your body is still in transition. You've been lying flat for hours, and the moment you stand, your blood pressure dips a little. That's normal. But then you step into hot water. The heat makes your blood vessels open wide very quickly, and that sudden opening, combined with already low pressure, means your brain may not get enough blood flow at the exact moment it needs it most. For younger people, this might just cause a little dizziness. But for someone over 60, especially if you have heart disease, stiff arteries, or you're on blood pressure medicine, this dip can be dangerous. In fact, it can trigger what's called a mini-stroke, or in some cases, a full stroke in just seconds. Imagine slurred speech, weakness in your arm, or vision that suddenly fades, all while you're standing under the warm water. I'll never forget one of my patients, Mr. Leonard James, a 75-year-old retired carpenter. He loved his morning routine, up at 6:30, shower by 6:40, coffee at 7. But one morning, he collapsed in the shower. His wife found him unable to lift his arm and speaking in broken words. At the hospital, we discovered he'd had a mild stroke, and when we pieced it together, the culprit wasn't cigarettes, or diet, or lack of exercise. It was his shower, too hot, too soon after waking. So what's the takeaway here? If you love your morning shower, don't worry. You don't have to give it up. But you do need to be smart about it. Start your day slowly. Sit on the edge of the bed. Drink a glass of water. Give your body at least 20 minutes to wake up before stepping into the shower. And when you do, keep the water warm, not scalding hot. That one simple adjustment can protect your brain, your heart, and maybe even save your life. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever ended your shower with a blast of cold water because you heard it's good for circulation, or that it wakes you up? Many seniors are told this is healthy. Maybe you've even read it online. But here's the truth. For people over 60, that sudden cold shock can do more harm than good. Here's the thing. When icy water suddenly hits your skin, your body reacts in a very powerful way. It's a built-in survival system. Your blood vessels squeeze tight to hold in heat. Your heart starts pumping harder against those tight vessels. In a young, flexible body, this can be tolerated. But in an older body, where arteries are often stiff, where the heart may already be under strain, that sudden squeeze can trigger a dangerous spike in blood pressure. Imagine this. Your heart is like a pump. Normally, it pushes against soft, flexible tubes. But now, all at once, those tubes shrink and tighten. The pump has to work double time. For a senior, that means real danger. High blood pressure spikes like this can disturb your heart rhythm, create stress on your blood vessels, and in some cases, lead to blood clots forming. And if one of those clots travels up to your brain, you've got the recipe for a stroke. I'll tell you about a man I'll never forget, Mr. Robert Hayes. He was 79, a retired firefighter, tough as nails, and proud of keeping himself strong. He told me he liked to finish his morning shower with 30 seconds of cold water. He said it made him feel alive. For a while, it seemed fine. But one cold winter morning, he stepped from hot water to freezing cold, and within moments his chest tightened. He collapsed on the bathroom floor. At the hospital, we found he had suffered what's called a transient ischemic attack, a mini-stroke. A small clot had cut off blood flow in his brain, and his heart rhythm was unstable. His morning routine nearly cost him his life. So here's your takeaway. If you're over 60, avoid sudden temperature shocks. A comfortable, steady warm shower is the safest. If you enjoy cooler water, ease into it gradually. Don't shock your body with extremes. Your heart and your brain will thank you. Take a moment right now. Have you ever felt dizzy, breathless, or had chest tightness after a cold shower? If so, that was your body's warning sign. Pay attention to it. Now, let me ask you, what time do you usually shower? If you're like many seniors, it's probably early in the morning. Maybe right after you wake up, around 6 or 7 a.m. It feels good to start the day clean and fresh. But here's the hidden danger. Those early hours, between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m., are actually the riskiest time for your brain. Here's why. Your body runs on what's called a circadian rhythm, a natural clock that controls your hormones and blood pressure throughout the day. In the early morning, your stress hormone, cortisol, rises sharply. This is normal. It's your body's way of saying, "Wake up, it's time to get moving." At the same time, your blood pressure naturally increases as you shift from rest to activity. For younger people, this morning surge usually isn't a problem. But for someone over 60, with arteries that are less flexible, it can put a lot of stress on the heart and brain. Now imagine adding a hot shower to that exact moment. Your blood vessels open wide from the heat, your brain is already under the pressure of rising cortisol, and your blood pressure is climbing. This triple stress can quietly push your circulatory system over the edge. It's like pouring fuel on a fire. For some seniors, it leads to dizziness. For others, it can trigger a clot to move, and in the worst cases, it can cause a stroke right there in the bathroom. Let me tell you about Miss Carol Matthews, an 83-year-old retired piano teacher. She loved her routine. Wake up at 6, shower at 6:15, breakfast by 7. She said it gave her structure and control over her day. But one morning, just after stepping out of her early shower, her right arm went limp. She couldn't form words. Her daughter found her slumped against the wall. At the hospital, we confirmed she had suffered an ischemic stroke, a clot cutting off blood flow in her brain. And the timing was no coincidence. It struck right in that early morning danger window. So what's the takeaway? Give your body time in the morning before you shower. Wait at least 45 minutes after waking. Drink some water. Move around gently. Let your system settle before you add the stress of heat and steam. If you normally shower at 6 a.m., try setting a timer for later, maybe closer to 7. That small change could save you from a life-changing stroke. Here's a challenge. Tomorrow morning, set a timer for 45 minutes after you wake up. Don't step into the shower until it goes off. Then notice how much steadier and safer you feel. Now let's talk about something that might surprise you. Did you know that one of the most dangerous places in your entire home is the bathroom? Not because of germs, but because of slippery floors. The truth is, for seniors, a simple fall in the shower can be just as dangerous as a stroke, and in some cases, it can even trigger one. Here's why. As we age, our balance isn't as sharp as it used to be. Our reflexes are slower. The muscles in our legs don't always respond quickly enough to keep us upright. And in the shower, everything is working against you. The floor is wet. Soap makes it slippery. The tub surface is smooth. And if there's nothing to grab onto, even the smallest slip can send you crashing down. Now, many people think, I'll be careful, I've been showering my whole life, I won't fall. But I've seen it too many times. A fall can cause more than just broken bones. It can send your blood pressure soaring from the shock, which sometimes leads to a stroke. Or it can cause direct trauma to the brain if you hit your head. I remember one patient so clearly, Mr. William Turner. He was 82, a World War II veteran from Missouri. Strong, independent, still living in the home he built with his own hands. He took pride in doing everything himself. But one morning, as he stepped into the shower, his foot slipped on the wet tile. He reached for something, anything, but there was nothing there. He fell hard, hitting his head on the porcelain tub. At first, he thought he'd just bruised himself. But when he tried to stand, his left leg wouldn't move. At the hospital, scans showed he'd suffered not only a severe concussion but also a stroke. That one slip in the shower changed his life forever. So what's the takeaway? Don't wait for a close call. Protect yourself before it happens. Add grab bars to your shower. They aren't a sign of weakness. They're a tool for independence. A shower chair can also make a world of difference if you struggle with balance or stand for long periods. These simple changes can mean the difference between a safe shower and a tragedy. Here's a challenge for you. Pause this video, walk into your bathroom, and count how many grab bars you have. If the answer is 0, it's time to make a change. Comment, checked, when you've done it. Remember, protecting yourself isn't giving up. It's taking control of your life and your future. Now, let me ask you, do you enjoy a long, hot, steamy shower? The kind that fills the bathroom with fog, fogs up the mirror, and makes the air feel warm and heavy? Many seniors tell me it feels comforting, like a blanket of heat wrapping around the body. And yes, it can loosen stiff joints and relax sore muscles. But here's something most people don't realize. That steam may also be robbing your brain of the oxygen it desperately needs. Here's the science in simple words. When you shower in a closed bathroom with no fan, no window open, and the door shut, the steam quickly fills the air. The oxygen levels in that small space drop. The air becomes heavier, thicker, and harder to breathe without you even noticing. At the same time, the heat makes your breathing shallower. The result? Your brain quietly receives less oxygen than it should. Now, a younger person might just feel a little tired or light-headed. But for someone over 60, that low oxygen, what doctors call hypoxia, can be dangerous. It can cause brain fog, confusion, dizziness, or even trigger a transient ischemic attack, sometimes called a mini-stroke. And the scariest part? It often looks harmless at first. You step out of the shower, feeling relaxed but a little cloudy, thinking you just need a cup of coffee. But in reality, your brain has been struggling to breathe. I'll never forget a patient named Mrs. Elaine Forster, age 77. She was a former choir director, full of life and energy. But she came to me worried about strange morning symptoms, dizziness, slurred speech, and confusion that faded after an hour. She feared she was developing dementia. But her brain scans were normal. Her labs were fine. The mystery puzzled us, until I asked about her mornings. She told me proudly, "Doctor, I take a long hot shower every morning. I love the steam. I never open the window, and I don't use the fan. It soothes my arthritis." Right then, the pieces clicked. She wasn't losing her memory. She was stepping into a low oxygen trap every single morning. So what's the takeaway? Ventilation matters. Always run the fan, crack the bathroom door, or open a window while you shower. Give your brain fresh air to work with. Try this right now. Take 5 slow, deep breaths where you're sitting. Feel that clarity in your head. That's what oxygen does for you. Don't deny your brain that gift every morning. If you've ever stepped out of a steamy shower feeling dizzy or foggy, that was your warning sign. Comment, brain fog, if this has ever happened to you. Now you know why, and you can prevent it. Now here's a habit many people never think twice about: showering right after eating. Maybe you enjoy a good breakfast, then hop straight into the shower before starting your day. Or perhaps you have dinner and think, let me freshen up before bed. It feels harmless, even practical. But for seniors, this simple routine can quietly put dangerous stress on your brain. Here's why. After you eat, your body sends extra blood to your stomach and intestines to help with digestion. That's why you sometimes feel a little sleepy after a meal. The blood is being borrowed from other areas to fuel your gut. Now, when you step into a hot shower during this time, your blood vessels widen, pulling even more blood away from your brain. The result? Your brain suddenly has less oxygen and fewer nutrients flowing to it, right when it needs them most. You might feel dizzy. You might notice your heart racing. Or, in some cases, the drop in circulation can trigger a stroke. It's like asking your body to do 2 big jobs at once: digest a meal and handle the heat of a shower. For younger people, their systems can usually juggle both. But after 60, when circulation is slower and arteries may be stiffer, the balance tips more easily toward danger. Let me share a real story. Mr. Harold Bennett, age 79, loved his morning routine. He'd eat a hearty breakfast, eggs, toast, coffee, then immediately shower before his wife woke up. One morning, while soaping his hair, he suddenly felt the room spin. His vision blurred, his speech slurred. By the time his wife found him, he couldn't move his right arm. At the hospital, we diagnosed him with a stroke. And yes, the timing was no coincidence. The combination of digestion and hot showering right after a meal was simply too much for his system. So what's the lesson here? Give your body time. Wait at least 60 to 90 minutes after eating before you shower. Let your body finish its most important job, digesting food, before adding the stress of a hot shower. Think of it as respecting your body's priorities. First, fuel the gut. Later, refresh the skin. Here's a small challenge for you. Tomorrow, after a meal, set a timer for 1 hour before stepping into the shower. Notice how much steadier, calmer, and clearer you feel afterward. This small change can protect your brain for years to come. Finally, let's talk about something that seems small but is actually one of the most dangerous habits of all: rushing through your shower in a state of stress. You see, for many seniors, the shower isn't just about cleanliness. It's tied to routine and responsibility. Maybe you're hurrying to get dressed before visitors arrive. Maybe you're anxious about being late for an appointment. Or perhaps you simply feel pressure not to take too long. But here's the hidden danger. When you rush, you raise your stress hormones, and when you combine that stress with the physical strain of a hot shower, you create the perfect storm for a stroke. Here's what happens inside your body. Stress makes your heart beat faster. It tightens your blood vessels. Your blood pressure rises sharply. Now add the hot water, which dilates blood vessels, forcing your heart to pump harder to maintain balance. It's like pressing the gas pedal and brake at the same time. Your system is under enormous strain. For someone with stiff arteries, high blood pressure, or a history of strokes, this combination can be devastating. I'll never forget Mr. George Holloway, age 81, a retired teacher, punctual to the second. One morning, he had a doctor's appointment and didn't want to be late. He rushed into the shower, quickly washing up, feeling the stress of the clock ticking in his mind. Within minutes, his wife heard a thud. She ran in to find him collapsed, unable to speak. The doctors later explained, the sudden spike in blood pressure from stress, combined with the shower's heat, had triggered a massive stroke. He survived, but his speech and independence never fully returned. The takeaway: a shower should be a place of calm, not chaos. Slow down. Breathe deeply. Let it be a ritual of relaxation, not a race against the clock. If you're worried about time, prepare earlier. If you're anxious about falling, add a chair or grab bars to remove that stress. Protect your mind by protecting your peace. Here's a simple practice. Tomorrow, when you step into the shower, try taking 3 slow, deep breaths before the water touches your skin. Say to yourself, "This is my time to relax." You'll be amazed how different your body feels when stress is replaced with calm. Remember, your shower can either refresh your brain or silently strain it. The choice is in how you approach it. So, my friend, now you know. The shower, something we often think of as safe, even healing, can hide silent dangers if we're not careful. We've uncovered 7 common habits that, especially after the age of 60, can quietly increase your risk of stroke. Let's quickly review them together. 1. Jumping into a hot shower immediately after waking up, shocking the brain when it's most vulnerable. 2. Very hot water that overheats the body, forcing your blood pressure into dangerous swings. 3. Cold showers or sudden temperature shifts, pushing the heart and brain into stress mode. 4. Very long showers, draining oxygen and tiring the brain. 5. Poor ventilation and heavy steam, creating a low oxygen trap. 6. Showering right after meals, pulling blood away from the brain when it's needed most. 7. Rushing and stressing in the shower, raising blood pressure to stroke levels. Now, I'm not telling you to be afraid of your shower. Quite the opposite. I want you to enjoy it, to make it a daily ritual of peace and renewal. But I also want you to be smart, to protect your brain and your independence. Because the truth is, strokes don't just change your health, they change your life. They can take away speech, movement, memory, and even the ability to live on your own. The good news? Every single one of these risks is preventable with small, simple adjustments. Wait a few minutes in the morning, keep your shower warm but not scalding, ventilate the bathroom, take your time, and respect your body's natural rhythms. These are not big sacrifices. They are tiny shifts that give your brain the oxygen, circulation, and calm it needs to thrive. So tomorrow, when you turn on the water, I want you to pause for a moment. Ask yourself, am I showering in a way that heals me, or in a way that harms me? Then make the choice that protects your future. Because here's the truth. You are not powerless against stroke. You have the wisdom, the awareness, and now, the knowledge to lower your risk every single day. And it starts with something as ordinary, but as powerful, as how you shower. If you found this video helpful, please share it with a friend or loved one over 60. It might save their life. And don't forget to subscribe, because I'll be sharing more simple, life-saving tips for seniors every week. Stay safe, stay strong, and remember, your health is your greatest gift.